Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. This is Joey. I'm here with you today. I just wanted to come on live for a little while and hang out with everyone. Thank you for a great year at Golden Blue Dude. We've had an amazing year, amazing growth. We're, up over 12,000 subscribers. This time last year, we were sitting here talking to you with, you know, maybe 2,000 subscribers. I mean, it's been amazing. So we want to thank everybody for a great year. Another year in the books. Hey, everybody have a great Christmas. I want anybody that wants to come in here with me. Let me post the StreamYard link here for you. You don't have to be on camera. You do have to show me that you're a real person in the background. But come on in here with me and hang out. Let's talk. Tell me about your Christmas. Tell me about your year. Tell me about what your plans are for next year. Whatever you want to talk about. Come on in with me and let's hang out a little while and just talk. Hey, and if nobody wants to join in and hang out, I'll sit here and talk to you for a little while. So I had a really good year this year. This year it's made 22 years of marriage from my wife and I. This is our 22nd year. In April, we married 23 years, but it was on Christmas Day in 1999 that I proposed to her. So, today made 23 years since I proposed. And, well, yeah, 22 years, 23 years since I proposed. And we've been married for 22. So it's really great. I'm really excited. We had a great Christmas. And so I'll tell you guys a quick story. Years ago, my wife spilled some grease on her hands, burned her hands really bad. I had to rush her to the hospital, and they had to cut her wedding bands off of her. And she lost her wedding bands because of that. So what I had to do was get some more. Well, every year I've been saying I was going to get them, and every year I never did. I never did get them. So this year I did it, and so I will share those with y'all. Let me turn my camera on here just a second. So this is Yvette's Christmas present, along with mine, because I've got one in there too. So this is what I did for her for Christmas. So she's pretty excited. We are going to have to get it sized a little bit though. It's just a little big, so I will have to get them sized. But anyway, so you guys come in and tell me about your Christmas and what all you got, or tell me in the chat there, and I'll read them off. I will tell you this too. In 4 days is my birthday. I'm excited about that. Every year, my wife gets me a cookie from Great American Cookie Company, and I love them cookies. So that's what I always look forward to on my birthday. So I'm excited that my birthday's coming in 4 days, just so I can have that cookie. But so what do I want for next year? Well, you know what? I'll tell you. So a lot of you know me. I work with Golden Blue Dude and have for a long time. I work with Mark Rogers, have for quite a while, and I work with a lot of other channels as well. Some new channels that I'm working with. Let me tell y'all about them. All right, Exploring with Ben and Sam. They are a couple of guys. They travel the world. They're in Paris, France right now for Christmas. They have a channel. It's called Exploring with Ben and Sam. Been helping them out. Want to grow them, get them going really good. Excited about that. Also, Mayhem Matthew. I know a lot of you guys know Mayhem Matthew. He used to have a channel. He never took it really seriously. And he called me up a few weeks ago, asked me if I'd come on board with him. He wanted to build a serious channel, so that's what I've been doing. Now, let me tell you about some stuff going on here at Golden Blue Dude. We've got some great stuff going on. I'm not going to spoil everything. We've got a lot of stuff going to happen the first of the year, but I will tell you this. We have a new level on Patreon. It's $1 a month. So we have a $1 Patreon level, a $2 Patreon level, a $5 Patreon, $10, and $20. Each one has its own perks. $1 level really has no perks except one thing. It will allow you to get into our Discord. Now, when we have live streams on Patreon, it will not let you. It will not let you see the link to come into that. But the $1 level will get you into Discord with us. So if you join at the $1 level, I'll send you a Discord link so that you can come into Golden Blue Dude Discord channel and talk college football with everybody that's in there. So excited about that. Launching Discord the other day. We already have probably 20 people in there, I'd say. So come on in and talk college football. If you're a Patreon member and you do not have the link is posted in Patreon so that you can join Discord. Now that link will change on a constant basis. So, you won't have to keep clicking on the links to join Discord to go in Discord. Click it one time and you'll be in. Just fill out your information and you'll be on Discord on the Golden Blue Dudes Discord. If you're a channel member if you're a channel member for YouTube, all you have to do is send me an email at footballnewshour at gbd. I'm sorry, football. That's the old one. Footballnewshour at gmail.com. Footballnewshour at gmail.com. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, and I will send you a link to be able to get onto the Discord, so you can be a Patreon member or a YouTube channel member and get on Discord. Now, here's the great thing about Discord. Okay, so I guess $1 members are going to get to watch our private live streams for Patreons, and here's why. If you're in Discord, I'm going to post everything in there as far as the link for the private live shows when we do a private live show, either myself or Golden Blue Dude or whatever we do. So if you're in our Discord, you have access to our private live shows. And you'll have access to StreamYard to be able to come in to pretty much all of our shows. We'll post in Patreon or in Discord. We will have private live streams just for Discord members eventually, so that just Discord members can come in and talk with us. And we will have ones just like we do now where I post a link here in the chat for everybody to join in. So once again, the links in the StreamYard, let me go down through the chat here and see who all we've got in here. We don't have very many today, but I didn't expect we would because it's Christmas. JJ's here. JJ's nice to see you. Glad you're here. Ben Adams says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to you too, Ben. Wet Blankets here. Nice get with the LSU tight end in the portal today. We were hoping to get him. Yeah. Thanks for being here at Wet Blanket. Appreciate it. Come on in with me if you would like to. The StreamYard links there. Roger Dodger. Sweet Joey, good job. I'm sure you're talking about the rings. Thanks for being here, Roger Dodger. Jonathan Ezel says, Hey, Joey. Hi, Jonathan. Merry Christmas. Glad you're here. Paris, been here for been around for a long time. Paris, appreciate you being here, buddy. Merry Christmas to you as well. Paxton, yes, I did get some good eats in today. My wife cooked us a nice turkey dinner. Here's the tough part. So, we had this cold part, right? Our water never freezes here, and our water froze up solid 2 days ago. We've had no water for 2 days. And so, also, my house, my property, when you come in, my house is up on a hill. So, my driveway is extremely steep. It's solid ice. We can't get off of it to even get down there to the bottom to go somewhere to get any water because it is solid ice. And there's no snowpack on it or nothing. It's ice. So we're kind of stuck here at the house with no water, can't get out, can't do anything. So cooking was a challenge, let me tell you, especially after 2 days. So, we didn't have no water at all. So what we had to do was my wife cooked everything today with like broth, like turkey broth, chicken broth, things like that. Instead of using water in certain things. So, like our mashed potatoes, she had to use turkey broth in them, which made it really good. Really did. But anyway, she made the potatoes and turkey broth, and then she mixed her potatoes up. They were fantastic. So hey, we made do, and it was a nice Christmas. We had turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, nice homemade yeast rolls that were delicious. We had green beans, everything. I mean, we had everything. So yeah, it was a really nice Christmas. Christian also in here with us. He says on Wisconsin and Merry Christmas on Wisconsin. Yes, Merry Christmas to you, Christian. Appreciate you being here. So anyway, let me look down through here, see what else we got. Paxton says they had a brisket. I've heard a lot of people say they have briskets and stuff for Christmas. I talked to somebody today that has it was Storgy Stories having Italian. They have Italian on Christmas, so they're having Italian meatballs and stuff. And Porcenestion, I don't know how to say that name. Porcenestion. Thanks for being here, buddy. Anyway, so tell me what Santa Claus brought you guys. Was Santa good to everybody in the chat? I mean, you know, we like I say, my wife and I are we have 5 kids and we have 15 grandkids and another one on the way. So we don't really buy for each other too much. I bought her the rings. She bought me a whiskey barrel because I like to make my own whiskey. So she bought me a new whiskey barrel. I needed one. So that was kind of our Christmas. That's all we done. And but our grandkids, we always buy for our grandkids. So I still got a ton of presents under my trees because I don't have any of my kids live near me. None of them do. The closest one is 3 hours away. And other than that, the closest one is about 6 hours away. So, and I've got 5 kids. So they're strung all the way from Texas they're down to South Carolina. They're here in West Virginia. They're over in Kentucky. So I'm all over the place. So the grandkids haven't got their Christmas gifts yet. So Yvette and I are probably the first of the year. We'll probably start making our rounds and getting out there to see them and taking them their gifts and things. Roger says 3 kinds of tamales: potato casserole, beans, and rice, and orange slices for Christmas. Okay. Roger says very delicious. Now, my wife loves tamales. Um, and what's the other thing that you eat a lot of, you bet, besides the tamales? Something else. I can't remember. Yeah, the chimichangas, I know that, but I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, so tamales are good. I'm not really big on Mexican food. I'm just not. I'll eat it every once in a while. So, Paxton says, Joey, I got a silver bracelet and silver necklace from my grandparents. Hey, great, that's nice. Silver bracelet, that's nice. Yeah, we went. So you seen the rings? We went with white gold. I went with white gold this time. Mainly because I bought a watch that I like a lot, and it has silver face. It's silver, so I went ahead and went with white gold so it wouldn't clash. But Roger Daughter says enchiladas. I don't know if do you like enchiladas? You bet. Yeah, she loves enchiladas. She said so. Yeah. Uh, she loves menudo. Menudo is what I was trying to think of. Menudo. Yes, she loves menudo. 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 Well, I'm saying it wrong. Menudo. Um, yeah, gold is hard to get. I ordered these rings. I actually ordered them back in September, first part of September, and just got them in about a week and a half ago. So that's pretty much what you have to do right now. It's just pre-order things so that I guess they got to find the supplies. I don't know. World's ending, right? It's always something around this world. Is everybody feeling okay? Uh, right now, I've noticed that COVID's kind of calmed down a lot. I don't hear a lot about COVID anymore. Um, Has anybody been sick or anything? You know, I hope not. Uh, Tar Heel, what's going on, Tar Heel? Nice to see you, buddy. He said, I trust GBD's kids made it through the cloud. Yeah, I think so. I haven't talked to Chris today. Well, we texted a couple of times, but he was. I told him I was going to go on live. I asked him if he wanted to come on with me a little while, and he can't because it's Christmas. He's got 4 kids and a wife, so and he's actually at his brother's house as well. So yeah, cold. Okay, you corrected. Okay, cold. Sorry, Tar Heel. Yeah, they did make it through the cold. So yeah, Roger Dodger. I broke some ribs on Wednesday, but it was fun snow skiing anyways. Oh wow, yeah. I used to love to water ski. I have never been snow skiing, um, but I couldn't ski right now. I couldn't ski anymore. I've had multiple back surgeries, a lot of them, and pretty much my back is put together with titanium and screws and everything else. So I don't think it's a good idea for me to get on a pair of skis anymore. Um, I'm lucky I even walk, and for a long time I did not walk. I spent a lot of years in a power chair getting around. So I'm happy to not get on a pair of skis because I don't want to hurt again and be back in a power chair. Uh, yeah, Roger Dodger. Water skiing is fun. First time I ever got on a pair of water skis, when I got up on top of the water, it was my third time trying, and I got up, and I thought they slowed the boat down because it seemed like I slowed down. So I let go, and then I realized they didn't slow down. That's just how it felt. So I got up my fourth time and skied all around the lake. So yeah, that I was pretty quick learning the water ski. I enjoyed it a lot. Paxton says my parents got me a referee jersey because I'm always complaining about the refs. Well, we need some refs, that's for sure. Pac-12 needs refs in a bad way. If you don't believe me, go back and watch the what's it? It was Oregon State game, I believe. Oh wow, refereeing at the end of that game was horrible. Oregon State should have won that game, and the referees let Oregon win it. Alan Aaron, welcome in. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to you too, Alan. Glad you're here. Um, um, Porson Eston. I don't know how to say that name. I'm gonna call you Porson. Said I slid into a basketball goal post once. It hurt for a couple of weeks. I was, slid into it while you were skiing or something. Yeah, that would hurt. That would hurt. Um, Now I used to have a friend that liked to water ski. He was really good. Um, I mean, really good. He would go on jumps and he competed in shows and things like that. And it was really, really good. Now that was many, many years ago, and he's an old man like me now, so he doesn't do that anymore. Um, Alan Aaron says, "Let's go W Mountaineers and Marshall Thundering Herd in football, and let's go UNC in basketball." Well, let's go WU in basketball. Um, you know, WU's a pretty good team this year in basketball. If nobody's been watching or paying attention, um, I think they're going to surprise some people. I don't know that. I don't think we're a Final Four team. I don't even know if we're an Elite Eight team this year. But we'll make the dance and probably the Sweet 16. So I'm really excited about that. I'll post that link in the chat one more time if anybody wants to join in with me. Love to have you here. Come on in and chat. Let's talk. Tell me about your Christmas. We'll talk about anything. So what are your goals for New Year? I've got goals for New Year. Like I told you, I'm working with Exploring with Ben and Sam now on their travel channel. I'm working with Mayhem Matthew on his football channel. He's going to start making serious videos and make a serious channel there. I've also started within my network providing merchandise to everyone that's within my network and even a couple that are not, so that we can all get prices down a whole lot cheaper. So it's actually going to help all you guys out that are fans of other channels. So, like if you're a fan of Mark Rogers, and you want a Mark Rogers shirt, instead of having to pay $25 for a T-shirt, now you're going to get it reasonably priced. I mean, a lot cheaper than that, because we're going to make them ourselves, and and things, and I've got all the equipment to do that. So we're going to start being able to offer you guys something without having to break the bank. That's what we're excited about. Um, Paxton says Chris Beard might not get fired, Joey. Really? Really? Is that what you're saying now? We have to wait for the picture to come out. Pictures to come out. Wow. I really figured Chris Beard would be done. But he's suspended, right? He's still suspended. Uh, Portion equals pig for Arkansas raking backs, and that's in Einstein. Oh, okay. So Porcenstein, Porcelain. That's how about all right? I'll call you Einstein. How's that? I'll call you Einstein. I can't get that deep. I'm not that smart. So, but I appreciate you explaining that. So anyway, that's some things we got going on in the new year. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be great. That before we used a company, and it would cost us, our cost on a T-shirt was anywhere between $16 and $20, just our cost. Then we tried selling to you guys for $24, $25. So we wasn't hardly making anything. And then on top of that, you was having to pay a fortune. So this way, we're going to be able to make that shirt and not have to. You won't have to pay a fortune for it. Um. Oh, okay. I've got you now. I'm all messed up here, ain't I? Well, I don't know what to call you. Especially getting the tight end from LSU. I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I've not kept up with recruiting the last 2 days. I've been extremely busy. I've been really busy with other things and did not keep up with recruiting. But somebody went back here and earlier and said something about. I'm trying to find it. They said something about it earlier. Nice get with the LSU tight end in the portal today. So I guess West Virginia did get the tight end. So that's nice. We need tight end. We lost two tight ends to the transfer portal. Both of them were great players too. So we needed a tight end. What I'm really excited about seeing this year with West Virginia is getting Rodney Gallagher, um, who was a top 300 recruit, a wide receiver. If anybody hasn't watched his game film, his highlights, go watch Rodney Gallagher's highlights. Wow, this kid. Uh, when I was watching him, if I didn't know it was Rodney Gallagher, I would swear it was Tavon Austin. I would have swore it was. He might not be as fast as Tavon, but just as shifty, and I mean, really, really a great player. So it was like I was watching Tavon Austin all over again. Um, anyway, so other things we got coming up New Year. Hey, how about this? If you're a West Virginia fan, we've got West Virginia Athletic Director Ren Baker going to be coming on to Mark Rogers and Golden Blue Dude shows for us. That's going to be sometime in early January. We're hoping to get some coaching interviews, some player interviews. Um, and hey, listen, I'll reach out to other schools too. Don't think I won't. So don't worry if you're not a West Virginia fan and you could care less about what Ren Baker has to say. Don't worry if you're an Arkansas fan, for instance. Hey, I could reach out to Arkansas at some point and try to get an interview with their athletic director. I could reach out to other places, and I don't care to do that one bit. Um, I would I will do it when we have the right viewers. So in other words, we have a lot of Georgia and a lot of Alabama fans on this channel. So reaching out to Georgia and Alabama for interviews makes sense. And we have a lot of Mountaineers, of course. So reaching out to West Virginia makes sense. And I've noticed here lately we've had a lot of Cincinnati players coming in, so we've got to get Cincinnati some coaches and maybe athletic director coming in here before they join the V12 this year. We need to get them in here. So looking forward to all that. And if any of you guys have a request for somebody that you'd like to see us interview, let me know. We'll bring them in. Um, but we're really excited about this year coming up because we've got so much stuff planned. Hey, if you're not following us on Substack, a lot of you may not even know what Substack is. SUBSTACK.com. Substack. Go to Substack, search for Golden Blue Dude, and sub to us there. It's free, doesn't cost a thing. We have writers there, so you can read articles on your. If you'd like to be a writer, we need writers, okay? Because we've rotated writers out now. We bring in new writers. We need some new writers. So I need writers for your team. And I've got a writer for Baylor, and I've got a writer for Conference USA. So we need a writer for Alabama. We need a writer for Georgia. I need a writer for Arkansas. I need a writer for West Virginia University. Anybody that likes to write under the Golden Voodoo name and things, let me know. Like I said, you can email me. I'll put my email here in the chat. Just email me, and I'll pick you up. Uh, trying to type and talk, and I can't do it. Sorry, guys. The only thing that I will say about not having any water is my dogs. I feel really bad for my dogs. Now we've got 5 ponds on my property, so they got plenty of water to drink. Guys, don't think that they don't have anything to drink. But the ponds are mostly froze, but there still are some areas where they can get some water. But so that's one thing I hate. And so like they're in the house and they're wanting water right now, so we just have to let them out so they can go to the pond to get them something to drink because we don't have any water. So um, do I need a writer for Texas? I do, Paxton. I do need a writer for Texas. And TND, yes, I do have a writer for Conference USA. His name is Manuel Brown. Um, Manuel is also uh, uh, works for us, works for me. He's sort of like a social media director. Um, so he handles all of our social media stuff, not just for here, but Mark Rogers as well to help me out there. Um, Silas, Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. Glad you're here. Um, Silas says, I did read that LSU tight end is coming to view even over Colorado, where he's from. Good deal. That's great. I'm excited about that because we need a tight end after losing too. My Neil Lear football hour. Okay. That who you're wanting me to get? Um, Silas says, man, sorry about the water situation, Joey. Tough luck. Warmer weather coming this week. Yes. We're supposed to be back in the 60s by Friday. So, hey, hopefully my water will thaw out at some point tomorrow afternoon. Um, you know, although there's no guarantee of that. Now, I do know that Tuesday our highs are going to be in the 30s. So we should thaw out fine for sure then. I went outside and got around there to where my water comes into my house and under my house and everything, and took a heat gun and tried to thaw it out. There was no thawing this out. I mean, it is froze solid. Um, Ben Adams says thoughts on Neil Brown so far. Well, people call me a Neil Brown apologist, so I'm not really a Neil Brown apologist. I just see things differently. I know what he stepped into when Dana Holgorsen left. I know how bad our culture was. I know what Dana Holgorsen left behind. And he stepped in late, so he had to take the recruiting class in 2019 of Dana Holgorsen's, which wasn't his players, didn't fit his system. Then 2020 hit, and it was COVID. So that kind of shot his recruiting out the window. So he had 2 years of no recruiting at West Virginia. So 2021, he finally got to get out and do some recruiting. So 2022 was actually his first class, if you think about it. But I'm considering it year two for him. This 2022 was year two. I think we're coming up on year three. That's how I look at Neil Brown. So this year he's got to prove something. But he's on the hot seat, no doubt. And you know, I think if he doesn't go 8-4, 9-3, he's done. I think he has to go at least 8-4, guys. Um, MSU Detroit fans, thanks for being here, man. Merry Christmas to you. He says snowing like crazy in Michigan. Yeah, I bet it is. All in Lake Effect snows. TND says, imagine those poor folks in Florida that have to deal with 40-degree highs. That's horror. Well, you know what? It is when you're used to, really nice warm temperatures, sunny days. All of a sudden it's 40 degrees and you don't have a heater in your house. That's pretty rough. I know that for a fact. So, yeah, that is pretty rough on them. I remember down in Texas, my wife and I traveled the country for about 4 years. And we were down in Texas. And a snowstorm hit there, a cold front like this one. This was a few years back, and those people were miserable. I mean, they couldn't drive. It was just a little dusting of snow. They couldn't drive. It's all over the road. They couldn't do anything. So, and half of them didn't have heat in their houses. So I really felt bad for them. So yeah. Um, Let me get down through here. MSU Detroit fan says my phone's weather app is saying it's 15 degrees, but the wind is making it feel like 2 degrees. Yeah, we were supposed to get to 21 degrees today, and the last time I checked, we were still 13. That's the highest I've seen it get was 13 here today. And now I'm in northern West Virginia, right up next to Morgantown. I'm about 30 minutes south of Morgantown. Silas says the wind chill Friday night and Saturday night had to be the coldest air I personally ever experienced. Yeah, it was cold. Now, not the coldest I've ever experienced because I've been up in North Dakota in the middle of winter, and yeah, it gets really cold up there. So it probably wasn't the coldest I've ever experienced, but it was cold. I will say that. Yeah, and it was around -30. I think our real feel was -33 at one time. Um, Pork says I went to work Friday and it was 0 with wind chill much lower than that. Hey, we got somebody coming in with us here. Let me bring them in with us here. Hey, Will, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Joey? Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to everyone here at Golden Blue Dude.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Miss Merry Christmas. So, tell us, was Santa Claus good to you?
Santa Claus was good to me. I got a new face cam.
All right. Hey, you do. It looks good, man. That's a
Yeah,
great
thanks.
picture.
All right, yeah.
Sounds like you got a new mic too. You sound real good too.
Oh, okay, cool. I guess my Blue Yeti's sounding better than normal, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
Awesome.
Uh, I was telling everybody, I don't know if you got to hear or not, but I don't have any water. Haven't had any for a couple of days.
Oh, no.
So that's why my camera's not on because I haven't had a shower in 2 days.
Oh, man. I'm
I
sorry
don't
about
think
that,
anybody
Joey.
wants to see Joey's old nasty hair.
Yeah.
I was just going down through the chat and reading. We're talking about the weather. Paxton's
Mhm.
in Texas. And MSU Detroit fan says Michigan's the only state where it can be below 0 in winter and over 100 in the summer.
Yeah.
Uh, 60 plus 1 minute. God. Now, Pork, he's an Arkansas fan. He says low 60s is as low as he got. Wow.
Mm.
Roger Dodger, no, lots of states do that. Let's see. I'm just looking down through the chat here, make sure there ain't no questions. So Will got him a new webcam. So Will, tell me about your New Year's resolution. What are you going to do for New Year's to start with? What are you going to do?
Well, for New Year's, I want to try to get in better shape, just working out wise, and I'd like to get the subscribers up on Will ND and the Young Guns. So yeah, and
Yeah,
also graduate college.
yeah, and that's the biggest goal right there. That's for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know now. I will say this: that Young Guns channel, they're fantastic over there. If nobody
Hmm.
checks them out, um, be sure and check out Young Guns of College Football. Those guys are
Hmm.
really good. Roger Tellis was telling me to throw some salt on my driveway because I can't get out either.
Hmm.
We built our house, so my property, I've got 57 acres. And I've got this circular driveway that comes like up a hill and then down the other side. And right in the middle of the circular driveway, we put our home. Well, we don't never have any trouble getting in and out of here. But my
Hmm.
driveway's solid ice right now because of all the cold weather.
Oh
Because
no.
before it turned cold on us, it rained. It rained for hours and hard
Hmm.
rain. And then all of a sudden, the temperatures dropped extremely quick and everything froze. So,
Mm.
so we have solid ice in our driveway, so we can't even get out to go get any water or anything. They're telling me to put salt on it. I don't have any salt. I did use salt. I had to use it out here on a little walkway. I've used all my salt, so I need to stock up on salt.
Dang.
Um, See, I'm trying to reach some chat. I've always wanted to try snowboarding on real power snow. No such thing in Alabama, though. Hey, come to West Virginia. There's a lot of people do some snowboarding in West Virginia. Matter of fact, you don't have to, if you're coming up from Alabama and you hit West Virginia, you'll come into Bluefield, West Virginia. And between Bluefield and Beckley, there's a place called Winter's Place Ski Resort.
Mm.
It's it's 35, 40 minutes into West Virginia. So you don't have to go very far to be at a ski resort. Pretty nice one. And have some fun. So yeah, come on up to West Virginia and do that.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Tasala says he tried to find Young Guns. Can you guys share the link? Will, can you share the Young Guns link in the chat?
Of course. It's gonna bring it up
Um,
here. I'm always logged in as Will ND, so I have to switch my account.
Kevin says, is anybody a Razorback fan? I'm not particularly, but would like to see them do well. Hope they do, just as long as they don't beat Bama. Well, yeah, Kevin. We do have a Razorback fan in here, right there, right down at the bottom. Am I right? Pork, I think you're a
Hmm.
Razorback fan, so uh,
I like Sam Pittman. I like seeing him do well.
yeah. Arkansas's got a decent team. I think they were better last year, though, don't you?
Yeah, they underachieved this year.
Yeah. Um,
The bowl game between them and Kansas could be interesting.
well, I'll be honest. I don't think Kansas has a chance in the game. I
Mm.
mean, now I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Kansas is bad by any means because they're a good team. Kansas has not been the same team the second half of the season as they were the first half, though. And
Didn't
so,
their quarterback get hurt?
yeah. And now is he back for the bowl game? He's back, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that may make a difference, and maybe they'll be back in stride like they were the first part of the season. If they are, Arkansas better watch out. That's for sure. Uh,
Saw really fell hard at the end, especially that Mizzou loss. I mean, I felt like they should have definitely beaten Mizzou.
Roger Dodger says Christmas is great at Wheel MD, waiting for mighty Tulane.
The mighty Green Wave.
Michigan State Detroit fan says it's official. Hell froze over. Hell, Michigan. Hell, Michigan, or the hell with Michigan. Will indeed, especially that link for you guys there.
Yep.
Jeff Roy, Merry Christmas and roll tide, everybody. Merry Christmas, Jeff.
Merry
Roll
Christmas,
tide.
Jeff.
Roll tide for you. I tried to get
Mhm.
Tide Guy in here with us, but I haven't been able to reach him.
Yeah.
Pork says Sam Pittman is cleaning house right now. He had to run a few problems off.
Uh,
That's happening about everywhere. There's a lot of
mhm.
people getting run off of programs. Kevin says they always start out like a ball of fire and fade down the stretch. Now, who are we talking about? Arkansas?
I
Yeah,
think he's talking about the Razorbacks.
yeah. Um, TND, why is hell located so close to Ann Arbor? Coincidence? I think not.
Ooh.
Silas says, "Thanks, Will. He just subbed you up."
Thanks, Silas. I appreciate it, bro.
Jeffrey, what do you think about Alabama's recruiting class this year? I think they're number one.
Yeah, they're number one.
Yeah, that's it. I don't. All right. I'm not like everybody else. I don't look at star rankings and think, oh boy. I look at tapes and I look at
Yeah.
developmental programs. I look at things that really matter. You could
Hmm.
I could have a 5-star player sitting here and a 3-star player sitting here on this show right now, and that 5-star player is going to respect that 3-star player. Bottom line, and that 3-star player is going to play his best when he goes up against that 5-star player.
Hmm.
So I don't pay attention to them stars. They don't mean a thing to me. Now, don't get me wrong. If you don't have any talent, if you're in things, that's a little bit different story. But if you've got 3-star talent, it's nothing to develop you into a 5-star talent or a high 4-star talent in a few short months. So with the right coaching staff. Um, uh, Pork says the strength coach had to go, and about 20 plus players were in the portal. Is that for Arkansas? Um, Roger says he hopes the Mexican federales don't have Ty Guy locked up. They could. They might. They might have locked him up for that bad internet down there in Mexico. They might have blamed him. Notre Dame getting Sam Hartman or maybe Grayson McCall. You're muted, Will. Oh, he must be on the phone. He must have got a phone call. Uh, there's a Hell, Michigan, so of course there's also a Paradise, Michigan. Yeah, there is, isn't there? As a cell phone, there's a community called Ball Play about 10 minutes north of Jacksonville in Alabama. All right. Pork says injuries ruined our defense this year. Yeah, I didn't get to watch any Arkansas games this year, Pork. I know that last year you guys were a lot better than you were this year. I root for Arkansas. I will tell you that. I root for teams in the SEC like Arkansas and Kentucky. I root for those teams. You know, I because I know it's hard to compete with the Alabamas and the Georgias, and when Florida's good, the Floridas, and when LSU's good, the LSU's. So I'll root for those. And now we got to start rooting for Texas A&M because they seem to be a basement dweller
I can't root
in
for
the
Jimbo,
SEC.
Joey. I can't root for him.
Well, I'm just saying that he's not. They're not. Texas A&M is no longer like an Alabama or Georgia or LSU. They're like at the bottom. So now they're underdogs every week. We might have to
Yeah.
start pulling for them.
I'll root for Mississippi State. I'll root for
Yeah.
Mississippi State, Arkansas, Missouri, Vandy.
Pork says all the federales said they could have had him any day. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they only let him go get away out of kindness. All right, Tigers going to blow the Volunteers out in Miami. Joshua says Tigers are going to beat the Volunteers.
I think
What
they
do you think,
will.
Will?
Yeah, I think because of the quarterback, like Joe Milton was terrible at Michigan. Cade Klubnik looked great in the ACC championship. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna take a balls.
Okay.
Um, I have no idea what Detroit fan just typed in there. Um, English, please.
Yeah.
I could say something else, but I won't. Jeffrey, rumors are Bill O'Brien is leaving. Well, ain't
No,
that
I have a
what he wants?
theory. I have a bit of I think it could be a bit of a conspiracy conducted by the boosters that hate O'Brien. I think they might just hate him so much they're going to say, "Oh, they're saying he's going to leave. He's going to leave," and then he eventually does leave. I think that could be started by the boosters.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know why my computer, my
Mhm.
laptop is saying it's going dead. I must not be plugged in. And I'm plugged in all
Mhm.
the way. That must not be plugged in up there. That's all right. It should last me a few more minutes. Okay, let's see. Kevin and a lot of 5 stars figure they were BMOC in high school and figure all they have to do is show up at their given university and be another. 3 stars will show up and show you why he should have been a 5 star. Exactly. Exactly. 3 star talent with 5 star mentality. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
like. Any word on WU offensive coordinator? None right now. But Silas, in case you wasn't here earlier, we're going to be interviewing Ren Baker here real soon, within the next couple of weeks. Uh, oh, and there you bet got me plugged in. I was about to go dead on us. Um, we're going to interview Ren Baker real soon, so stay tuned for that. That will be after the national championship game, within a couple of days after that, I'm sure. Um, Brooke says, "How does O'Brien keep getting work?" Well,
I mean,
I'm not.
I guess the guy's just good at doing the interview. I guess he's good at. He gets into the interview, and I guess he does well in the interview.
Kevin says he'll take a 3 star with an "I'll show you" attitude. Yeah, exactly. I will too. Some of our best players out of West Virginia have been 3 star talents, or low 4 star even. So
Mm-hmm.
look at Geno Smith. Geno Smith was a low 4 star. You know, as was well, Tavon Austin was only a 3 star.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's the thing about that. Um, Tyler says, "Great, Joey. I'll tune in for that interview. Good deal." Uh, MSU says, "What's worse is those rumors also say O'Brien is also going back to New England."
Mm.
I read something about that the other day on ESPN or Sports Illustrated or something that he may be going back to New England. I did read that. Alan says he upset you gets rid of Jordan Leslie. Another thing we got to talk about. All right, so that's just something I want to talk about with Ren Baker because West Virginia doesn't have a lot of money for its assistant coaches, and I know that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason that we're stuck with like Jordan Leslie and getting coaches that nobody else wants because it can't pay them a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Neil Brown can't pay him a lot with what money he's getting, so hopefully Ren Baker increases that budget so we can go out and get an actual real defensive coordinator. So
Mm.
I will say this though, Jordan Leslie is not near as bad as that Joe DePorst. Joe DePorst was absolutely the worst defensive coordinator I've ever seen in my life.
Was he under Dana?
Yes, he was under Dana. That was in 2014, 2013, 2014.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, he was horrible.
Yeah.
Josh says the Patriots couldn't do any worse. Roger Dodger says, question, Joey, do you think Graham Harrell did a good job for W this season? I don't know. Somebody asked me that the other day, and the jury's out on that for me because I don't know how much Neil Brown gave him full reign.
Mm-hmm.
So, did he allow uh, did he allow Graham Harrell to just get out there and call what he wants to call and do what he wants to do, or did he hold him back? If if he was calling what he wanted to call and doing what he wanted to do, then no, I don't think he was that great of an offensive coordinator. But if Neil Brown was holding him back, then yeah, possibly he might be a little bit better than he showed at West Virginia. So,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, I don't think any one of them's talking and saying what that situation was. So,
Yeah. That's kind of the same with Notre Dame and Tommy Reese. Like everyone said that Brian Kelly handcuffed Tommy Reese, but then this season, I mean, Tommy did have a difficult quarterback situation, so we're giving him one more pass in South Bend. But if he does terrible with Sam Hartman, he's got to go. And also, he doesn't develop quarterbacks very well either. So, yeah, this is
um,
Tommy Reese's last stand in South Bend next season. I think will be.
TNT, I have considered this, and I will put this up on the screen. I don't know why I'm reading about our chat. Why would a 5 star recruit commit to a top team just to ride the depth chart when they can be a star at a smaller school and get a big NIL deals? Anybody consider that? I have. I've thought about that a lot, and the reason why is so. What was it? They had How many 5 stars did Alabama sign this year? 11? 11 5-star
Mm,
recruits,
that
I
sounds
think.
about right. I'll take a look.
So 11 5-star recruits, and they're joining a team that's probably already got 22 or 23 5-star recruits. So he'll have close to 40 5-star recruits on that team, right? And the thing about it is, I guess
Seven
they just
five
want to
stars.
compete. They signed 7 this year.
Hmm.
Okay, so they might be closer to 35 5 stars on the whole team. So the thing about it is, I guess they just want to compete against each other and see who's better, knowing they can transfer next year. And Alabama gets their fair share of transfers too, guys. Everybody looks at West Virginia and says, well, there's problems at West Virginia. We've got too many transfers. Hey, everybody's got that same problem. Look around the country. Everybody's losing players. Everybody's
Yeah.
losing starters. Uh, you know, and it's not just stuff of teams that that you think are going to lose them. It's they're coming off of teams that are pretty good. You
Hmm.
know, there's teams leaving USC. There's teams leaving. There's players leaving Notre Dame. There's players leaving Clemson. So let's see. Trying to read
Also,
up.
I think to add on to that point, I think players are thinking long term they'll get more money if they stay on the bench at Alabama because eventually that pro money is going to equal out to more than they're going to get in the NIL.
Right, right. The pro money. Well, I'm just wondering if NIL is going to ever affect the NFL. And here's what I mean by that is, so NFL money. We've seen some crazy money go out, right? We've seen
Yep.
quarterbacks getting $6-8 million and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and new Mercedes every 90 days, like the quarterback at Ohio State gets a new Mercedes Benz every 90 days. All right, so we're seeing all this money being played out. How many times is a player going to go to college and play for 5 years, get NIL money for 5 years, a couple of $1 million every year, and then just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to retire on a beach somewhere. I'm out of here. And it hurts the NFL. I mean, I can see it eventually happening because NIL deals seem to get bigger every year. Where I thought some of these corporations learned their lesson and slow down with these NIL deals because players are getting their NIL money and then leaving that school and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I figured that it would slow down, but they're actually increasing. So, um, you
Hmm.
know, um, go ahead, Will.
I'm thinking Andrew Luck is definitely a guy that retired early that could have played longer, but I'm not sure that was because of NIL. I'm trying to think of NFL guys that retired young. I mean, I guess you could say Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson for the Lions both retired young.
Yeah. So Kevin says Graham Hill's from that Mike Leach tree. If he was trying to do the air raid at W and Neil Brown held him back, then Neil Brown is holding up a lot of people, talent wise. Agree 100%. So, but that's what I was saying. Was Neil Brown holding him back, or is he just not very good at teaching the offense? You know, there's some coaches that are really good at teaching it. You look at Dana Holgerson, really good at teaching that wide open offense, right? Sonny
Mhm.
Dykes, fantastic at it. Those people came from that tree. I don't look at Graham Harrell and say he's from the Mike Leach tree. He is from the Mike Leach tree, but he's not coached enough years yet to really put his name out there in lights, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So,
Yeah.
um, so MSU saying, yeah, Moore flipped to UCLA after Bo Nix said he was staying at
Mhm.
Oregon, but many people said he was going to be flipped after Arizona State hired his main Kenny Dillingham, his main recruiter. Yeah. Uh, Pork says players want to play. Yes, of course they do. Um, MSU says Michigan State landed 4-star quarterback Sam Levitt because his main recruiter at Washington State left. And that's happening places too. So we
Mhm.
lost our offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell. I was really worried that, some players would flip, some players would leave or something, and it hasn't happened. Well, we did lose wide receivers. We lost Caden Prather, huge wide receiver for us, our leading wide receiver this year. And so losing him is going to hurt. but we're bringing in Rodney Gallagher, and nobody was able to flip him. Penn State made a last run effort for Rodney Gallagher really hard, and they didn't get him. Notre Dame did as well. Didn't get him.
We ended up getting Virginia Tech's leading receiver Caleb Smith. I mean, Virginia Tech was terrible, but
yeah,
our passing game was terrible, and he still had more passing yards, even on a terrible Virginia Tech team, than any of our receivers. So we're excited to see him, see what he can do.
Has anybody seen where Caden Prather landed yet? I haven't looked to see if he even landed anywhere yet. But Caden Prather, I mean, he was a big 4-star recruit that came in, and he was really good this year. So,
no, he hasn't landed anywhere yet.
Okay. TND says NFL scouts don't wait until senior year to start evaluating. Kids need reps early to show what they got. Makes no sense to get buried in.
Well, look at what all these guys did. Like even Brian Robinson, I'm a Commanders fan. Brian Robinson started 1 year with Bama, and now he's already the starting running back with the Commanders. So it does make sense for some players because eventually they'll get their chance to shine with Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah. And here's a true statement from Kevin. People are going to places like Bama, not just for the money, but also so you can show your grandkids your national championship ring.
Mm-hmm.
Very true, because if you go to Bama and you're there for 4 years, you're going to get a championship ring at some point in that 4 years. I don't know when's the last time Bama went for 4 years without winning a national championship. So you're right. You're right, too, Kevin. MSU people commit to schools to play there, and they got to earn their spot. Why should they stay there if they're just going to be in the depth on a roster? I agree, but here's the thing about it. Okay, so here's what I hate about this transfer portal, guys. It used to be, and I can bring on 15 football players right now, tell you the same thing. It's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood. You're out there battling for each other. You got to become a team, and you got to learn to mesh together. If you're the left tackle, you need to know what the right tackle is going to do, how he's going to block and where he's going to be. You need to know what the center is going to do and where he's going to block and how he pulls. If the center is going to pull towards you, you need to know where he's going to be. And that comes with experience of working together. If you're only there for a year and you transfer, all of a sudden you're not gaining anything. There is no need in transferring every year to a different team. That's silly. Go with a team and stay there and learn. And, that's what I hate about it. There's no commitment anymore from these players. They come, they play for a year, and they're out of here. How do you develop as a team? You don't. We have a saying in West Virginia, once a mountaineer, always a mountaineer. I don't know that holds true anymore. I don't know how I could say it. You get these players that come in here and play one season and leave. So they played for 3 months. Now, mind you, they busted their butt all year long. They went to class. They studied. Yeah, they're West Virginia Mountaineers, but are they always a Mountaineer when they leave and go somewhere else and play? If you really want to be a Mountaineer and you really want that title of once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer, stay here and play football. Yeah. Stay here and play basketball. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I like about what's going on in Notre Dame right now with us is that if someone's gonna play their 4 years in Notre Dame, get consistent starting reps, they're gonna stay. Like we don't have guys that actually play that leave. The guys that are leaving are the guys that aren't getting enough, that aren't going to get playing time in their 4 years in Notre Dame. So these guys, they get their degree and then they leave to transfer. So
yeah. So Jeff says, how do you feel about the playoffs? I think Georgia will win it all. I don't think Georgia will win it all. I think it's Georgia's to lose.
Yeah.
I think it belongs to Georgia and it's theirs to lose. So but can Georgia be beat? Absolutely. Did you see them play a couple of games this year against a lot lesser talent than they're going to face in the playoffs? And they struggled a couple of games. So they're beatable. They're beatable. But will is Georgia going to lose a game? That's going to be up to Georgia, in my opinion. There's nobody there that has more talent than Georgia. No one's got
Ohio State is close.
Yeah, Ohio State's close. You went up again there, Bill. Let's see. Will, I think your mic went off on you there, buddy.
I think it should be working now.
There you are. I think you're back. Nope. There you are.
Yeah.
MSU says, yeah, double transfers are the ones that can really hurt teams, especially if they transfer from one Power 5 team to another and then another. Yeah, exactly. So you had J.T. Daniels, and he left USC to go to Georgia. He left Georgia to come to West Virginia. Now he left West Virginia to go to Rice? I mean, come on. So you can't stay and battle it out against Garrett Green. You're a 5-star quarterback. You're going against 2 4-stars, Garrett Green and Nico Marchio, 2 4-star quarterbacks. You're challenging them, and you can't beat them out. And you're the experienced one. You're the senior, and these guys are freshmen and sophomores and juniors. You know, our quarterback room. So redshirt junior, a sophomore, and a freshman. Why can't you beat them out? Why do you have
I
to
don't
go to
know.
Rice? So that's what I don't understand. Stay there and beat them out. Um, and I have nothing against JT Daniels. I wish him well at Rice. I really do. He's a great kid. I mean, great kid. Very smart.
Yeah.
But I just wish he would have stuck around and played it out. And, you know, Sorgy says, hey, guys, I'll be on in a minute. Trying to
What's up,
call my
Anthony?
grandma, and she ain't answering, so I'm waiting for a call back. Okay, Sorgy. MSU, it's a guy who transfers. Let's see. It's a guy who transfers from G5 and FCS team to an FBS team. That can make sense, especially if they are trying to get into the NFL, since they can possibly face tougher opponents. No. If you're talented, the NFL will find you. I don't care where you play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you play for Roanoke College. If you're talented, the NFL will find you.
Yep.
That's for sure. Um, TND says I'd rather see TCU win for the memes, but it'll probably be Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, college football should go pro and sign contracts.
No.
I don't know about that. I don't want pro, but here's what they are going to have to do. And I hate this because it's the pro model. They're going to have to cap universities. They're going to have to NIL. They're going to have to cap NIL at university level. You can't cap the players. You can't do that. But you can cap the university and say, here's what you can pay out every year. They might have to go with that because if they don't, teams that are in the middle of nowhere that don't have big boosters are going to struggle. Bottom line, um, it's not hurting. It's not hurting a team like Alabama. It's not hurting a team, even though Alabama's in the middle of nowhere. Don't get me wrong there, but they're just a huge brand. But Texas, is there anybody in the country that could really out recruit Texas if they really threw their money at it? No way. You get all that oil money there in Texas, they could buy their team every single year.
Yeah.
So I think that something has to change there to where they cap the university. That's going to have to happen.
That's what
Another thing
makes
too,
Texas being so bad the more funny. Because like,
yeah,
how is Texas this bad if they get all the recruits?
right, exactly. And another thing too, they're going to have to go back to setting out a year if you transfer. They're going to have to go back to setting out a year and losing that year of eligibility. Coach K, let's see what Kevin says. Coach K years ago said that the one and done deal will eventually hurt college basketball. I think it has, and I think the portal will do the same.
It already
I
has.
agree. Yep, it is hurting. It's hurting our game that we love. Honestly, I enjoyed watching the kids come to Western University as a freshman. I liked watching him redshirt. I liked watching him on the scout team and watching him develop. Then I loved watching him make the team and get in the game, um, and grow over a 4 or 5 year period with the program, and then get in the NFL. That made me excited to be a college football fan and a West Virginia fan. That don't happen now. We get a player in, and he's good, and he's got an NIL deal to make $80,000 a year, and Ohio State calls him and says, "We're going to give you $100,000 a year," he's hitting that transfer portal,
Yep.
and that really irks me. I do not like that. There's too much meddling in the transfer portal right now, guys. It's really got to stop. There's a lot of meddling, and the thing about it is they're being sneaky about it, and that sneakiness makes it legal because they're not really contacting them per se by the coach giving them a call. The coach is calling somebody else he knows, who's calling somebody they know, who calls somebody that knows them, and gets a word out to them. So
I'm fine if they transfer, but they have to get a college degree before they transfer. I think that should be the rule.
CKS says transfer doesn't always mean success. Charlie Brewer transferred to Utah, bombed out, quit, and then transferred again. Yeah. Silas says, Joey, I need to see you do the practice. We talk about practices after that. Right, slap out loud. Yeah. Let's see. TSU had a defensive back that somehow decided to transfer to Florida State after we had beaten them. And now he's in the portal again because Florida State made him a reserve.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like we had a player at West Virginia transferred to Miami, $850,000 NIL. At West Virginia, he didn't make a dime. He's a Canadian player, and couldn't pay him NIL. Didn't know the rules of that right away. This was back when NIL first started. Didn't know the rules of it right away, and trying to figure out how to get him paid. In the meantime, he transfers to Miami because he got NIL there, and I don't even know how they done it. But they got him NIL money. So, hey, good for him. I hate that we lost the player, though.
The thing is, though, it seems like there are no rules with NIL because the NCAA isn't enforcing any of them because they're so afraid of a lawsuit.
Yeah, I know it. That's just it. Well, NCAA's been sued, 15 times in the last 10 years, and they've lost them all.
Yeah.
So, MSU says after the success Kenneth Walker has, basically everyone is trying to find another Kenneth Walker in the portal. I agree.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. They do. Everybody has people drafted. TND, if the Power 2 or whatever becomes a semi-pro league, they should be forced to play during the week like the NFL and leave Saturdays to the rest of us. One thing that Golden Voodoo said one time, and I agree with him, I like the idea, was that FCS programs play during the off season of FBS.
Yeah, play in the spring.
And let the two kind of mesh together one game somewhere or something. Like let them play in the spring, whatever. But that would be an ideal way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They would get a lot more money in FCS, and they would get a lot more fans. Because I would pick a fan. I would pick a team from FCS to follow and watch.
Mm-hmm.
As a college football fan. Pork says go pro, and then they set salary caps, but NIL cannot be capped. Right. They can't cap NIL, but they can cap the university.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Stories, what's going on there,
what's
little
up,
man?
Anthony? How's it going, bro? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'm alright. How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm doing good. How are you, pal?
Oh, I'm living.
All right.
Ready to get back to West Virginia. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we're headed back. So that'll be nice. And I just got Sunday Night Football on. Mm-hmm. Just finished up Christmas dinner, and yeah.
Awesome.
Good deal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joey.
So TND says, I think recruiting will come down to the I want money now types, and I want to get my degree playing the game I love type.
Yeah, that's really what I like about what
It
Marcus
is.
Freeman's doing. He's really targeting the I want to get my degree playing the game I love type. And we're getting some of the best players of those type of guys. Like our recruiting class may be like only top 10, but I think this is stronger than any of the other classes that Kelly's got because we've gotten guys at every position that want to get the degree. I think we got the best of those guys. Well, a lot of them.
Right. Kevin says NIL should be capped, otherwise it will be whoever has the deepest pockets always. But like we're saying, you can't cap NIL because that's just like I don't care where you work. Let's just say you work at McDonald's. They can't nobody tell you you're not allowed to make $15 an hour, or that you can only make 10. They can't cap your salary, right? Can't nobody do that. But these guys are the same way with NIL. You can't tell them you can only make 50,000 a year. You can't do that, but you can cap the universities on what they pay out in NIL. You can cap these trusts, these NIL trusts, and say, hey, here's what is allowed to be paid out. So that's where it's going to have to be done. It can't be done on the players though. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen, and that's a lawsuit that would be lost. Silas says Munner Paul has a video up on the LSU transfer. All right, thank you, Silas. TND says Lather is the guy you want on your team.
Yeah, the guy that wants the degree while playing football. That's what he said.
Right.
Compared to the guy that wants the money now.
Right. So, Sorty Stories, tell us a little bit, man. Was Santa Claus good to you guys over there?
I think he said he's coming back in a second.
Oh.
So we'll wait for Anthony.
Yeah. So Anthony doesn't get to come on a lot with us. If nobody has subbed up Sorty Stories, I think everybody's probably subbed the Sorty Stories. But
yeah.
If you haven't, Anthony and his dad are great over there. They have a great show. They follow a lot of baseball in Major League Baseball over there. So they follow NFL football and they follow college football. So they're just an all around sports channel. Pork says the universities don't pay NIL, outside individuals do. Well, right, but anymore it's going through those collectives, and that's what the NCAA is going to have to do is say, okay, all money that gets paid out to the player comes through the collective, and the collective is getting capped so and so amount each year. I don't know of any other way to do it, guys. I mean, if you don't do that though, then it's just going to be highest bidder gets this player, highest bidder gets that player, and you're not going to be able once Texas and Texas A&M and Texas and Baylor and all them schools down in Texas, once they figure out how NIL is going to work exactly, there's nobody in the country that compete with that Texas money. Nobody that compete with that oil money. I'll tell you right now. So, Alan Aaron says, I believe WVU has a really good chance landing the Florida State defensive player. We need a lot of help in defense as well as offense. After losing two tight ends, two wide receivers, quarterback, we did not lose any running backs though yet. Let's hope that we don't at all. We haven't lost any running backs, so I'm really excited about where our running backs are going to be next year because C.J. Donaldson, he's a beast to bring down. And we know now that Johnson is just as good. So, but yeah, I'm excited about our running back stable for next year. Now we've got to get. I'm like you, Alan. We've got to get some defensive players. Our defensive secondary was absolutely so bad last year. I don't know why anybody run the ball against us because you could have thrown every down and you could have scored 100 points a game against West Virginia. Bottom line, I don't know why anybody tried to run the ball. I wouldn't have cared if we'd been playing Army. I don't think Army would have tried to run the ball. They would have said, we can throw on these boys. So, and Kevin's coming back now and saying, then the conferences need to dole out the money to the schools and then set a cap like they do in Major League Baseball. They set a cap, and if you go over that, you pay a fine.
I don't think that'll happen because it's the it's the schools that make the conferences money.
Right.
So I don't think the conference would have enough money. The conferences just don't have that much money to pay the teams. That's not how it works.
Right. And then you know, because the NIL is for the players. So that's the players on, let's say, like like what you're saying there. You're saying so the SEC would pay money out to Arkansas, to Alabama, to Texas A&M, and everything for their collectives every year, and that's what they would go on. They couldn't do that because the NIL. If I own a shoe company and I want to sponsor, I don't care, Bennett at Georgia. I want to sponsor Bennett. Well, then that's who I'm going to sponsor, and I'm going to pay Bennett. So I would pay that collective, that NIL collective, to get the money to Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't pay the conference, and so that they could divide that up to a bunch of other teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's an answer to all this. There's got to be. There's people out there a lot smarter than me when it comes to this college football and all the ins and outs of getting these players money. But something's got to be done. Something's got to be done quick, because if it's not, the game we love is going away, guys, at a quick pace.
What's GBD doing this Christmas?
Well, he's got 4 kids, and he's at his
Mhm.
brother's house and stuff. They're with family and things.
Okay.
So I was just sitting here doing nothing, and I thought, man, if I'm sitting here doing nothing, there's probably a lot of people sitting there doing nothing. So I came on, and I didn't know if I'd have 5 people or 50 people. You never know.
What's up, Anthony?
Sorry, I had to take a call.
No
Brooke
worries.
says that's like the NFL trying to cap what Mahomes makes from State Farm. Can't do that. Exactly. Exactly what I was making my point at. Hey, so Anthony, you back with us? So tell us about your Christmas, man. What did you get for Christmas? What did Santa Claus bring you?
Oh man. So kind of the small things, got these earbuds. And got candy. Kind of simple things, but the big thing is we're going to 2 new ballparks this year for the MLB, and we're going to be seeing Marquette Georgetown in Washington in February. So I'm excited for all that. And, best gift of all, as Joey knows, is going to West Virginia, because I love being in the Mountain State whenever I can. And I think I saw it's going to start tomorrow night, so at least in Charleston. So yeah.
All right, good deal. So we headed to Charleston. Yeah, you'll come by my house to go to Charleston, you know. So, therefore, I'm a fan. But do y'all think Auburn can turn it around and compete with Alabama and Georgia? Yes. Auburn made a great hire. I don't know. I'm not going to say great hire.
It's not a great hire because there's so many things that could go wrong.
They made a hire that they're going to have to keep in line. That's the bottom line. They're going to have to keep him on the straight and narrow there. If they can do that, they've got a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But can they keep him off the phone? Can they keep him out of the clubs? Can they keep him out? You know, what's going to happen here? So that's kind of got me concerned about that hire. But he's a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. You know, and I don't know how true it is, but somebody on the show here one day told me that he's got in trouble while he was at Liberty, and
Tony
Liberty got
said that,
sued.
yeah,
and Liberty got sued for a couple $1 million, and they kind of pushed it under a rug. So, yeah, that's the thing about it. You don't know what's going to happen with Hugh Freeze. It's like, okay, we got a great coach. Now, is it going to continue to harass women?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, I have a question for both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Bill and I have already talked about this, but guaranteed rate bowl Tuesday night, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. Joey, what do you think about it? And we'll go ahead and give your take as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about it. But,
yeah. Wisconsin, Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
You know, Oklahoma State's a dumpster fire right now. They are. They're just. By the end of the year, they just did not look like the same team they were at the beginning of the year at all. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know. It's like the players quit. They're not going to be up for this game. They're not going to care about this game. Wisconsin's going to run away with this game.
Yeah. I mean, I've looked at it. I'm not going to give all my stuff away because, number one, I was on with Will. And number two, we're going to be doing the game on Sorty Stories, and I have a whole new set of notes for that. But one thing I will say, Oklahoma State with Spencer Sanders, their quarterback, and Brennan Presley, their top wide receiver out, it's not going to help anything.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides, I mean, Wisconsin has a good defense, but other than that, there's no real strengths. The Wisconsin run game lacked because Grant Mertz had the ball so much under Jim Leonard. I think it's going to be close, but I don't know. I'm going to say Wisconsin's going to win. But yeah. Well, what do you think?
3 words. Run the ball.
That's it.
I know.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Oklahoma State. I will say this. I need to find the. Let me pull it up. I have here on a Google Doc all of my notes. The run defense for Oklahoma State is, I can get it here, 95 in the country. They're 95th. And if you look for Wisconsin, Braylon Allen, the sophomore, 208 attempts, 1,126 yards, and 10 touchdowns rushing. He also had he had to have some receiving touchdowns, but he also had a passing touchdown. So that's what I'll say about that. I think that Wisconsin, if you run the ball, you're good. Chase Wolf, not good at quarterback, but to be fair, Oklahoma State has a freshman, Garrett Rangel, in the game. So I think it's just going to be like a pretty sloppy game overall. But I think sloppy games are the most fun sometimes, and I'll enjoy it.
It'll probably be similar to your game against Arizona. Who did you play last year?
Oh, I am blanking. I know.
Was it Arizona State?
Hold on. Well, I think it was, but I'm not sure. Oh, 2021. Trying to find it. Yes, it was Arizona State. 20-13, Wisconsin won.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I expect something similar there.
Yeah.
Manio, thank you for coming in, buddy. How you doing?
That freshman for Oklahoma State's the wild card. Like if he plays well, it could be close down the stretch.
And Jesus Christ, I haven't seen you in here in a long time. And well, love you too.
We love you too, Jesus.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, like Manuel says, happy birthday, Jesus.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I think we got some good bowl games coming up. I'm excited.
Man, your toppers looked really good against South Alabama.
Yeah. So for those in the chat, Manio's our writer over on Substack for Golden Blue Dude. He's also our director of social media advertising and our platform. So he takes care of all of our social media stuff, which appreciate Manio. He also does the same thing for me on Mark Rogers. So, and also does the same thing for me with Exploring with Ben and Sam. And I'm getting ready to throw another channel on him too. So he stays busy working for me. So I appreciate Manuel a whole lot, and Manuel knows this. But Manuel's a great guy, and he works very hard for us here at this channel, and we appreciate everything he does.
The entire team here at Golden Blue Dude is great. Credit to everyone. Joey, you do so much work. GVD himself does so much work. Will and all of the mods are great. I just sit back and say hi to people. That's all I do. But Will and all the mods do a great job. It's a family, and that's what's fun about it, is we all get to talk college football daily, and I hope to get more streams coming. I every night I always look on YouTube. I'm like, is Golden Blue Dude live yet? Is Golden Blue Dude live yet?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me tell everybody to remind you one more time. If you're a channel member or you're a Patreon member, we have Discord.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a channel member on Golden Blue Dude, that's where you join the join button, as Pixie and Pete always calls it. If you're a member of the join button on YouTube, email me, footballnewshour@gmail.com. And that way I can get you an invite for Discord so that you can come in Discord. If you're a member of Patreon, there's an invite on Patreon page right now, so you can get into Discord. Come in and join the conversation. We have a great conversation. Will is in there. Sorty Story is not in there. Sorty Story's you're not a Patreon member though, right?
No, I'm gonna get in there soon enough though. I'm planning on joining soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jesus Christ still going down through to everybody. He loves them, and we love you too, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here and blessing our chat. Brooke says loves horses in America too.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I wanted to just come in tonight and just hang out for a little while. Like I said, I'm sitting there doing nothing. But let's wrap this show up, guys. I'm getting tired, and we'll get off here, I believe. So, but
Mhm.
I want you guys to promote your channels, tell everybody where to find you, what to do, and everything, and post your links in the chat and everything. Sorgy, somebody
Yeah.
just type in Sorgy, and Sorgy's link will come up.
Yeah, you can find my dad and I's YouTube channel, Sorgy Stories. Next couple lives, I think we've got Guaranteed Race Bowl and then the Fiesta Bowl coming up. Ty Guy's going to be on with us for the Guaranteed Race Bowl. Maybe a few other of some favorites on Golden Blue Dude will be on with us. And then you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. I can't keep track of all of our. Just look up Sorgy Stories on Google and you'll find our Linktree page. And yeah, so we just kind of do sports, food, travel. Right now we're on the sports streams, and yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, Anthony. Will,
No
tell
problem.
everybody where to find you at, what you got going on. That Young Guns channel is awesome.
It is.
Mm-hmm. So I just put in the Young Guns link, and I'll also put in my other channel link. So at Young Guns, we've been doing a lot of bowl previews. Like we just did the Guaranteed Rate Bowl with Anthony here. That was a lot of fun.
Does that come out?
Will,
your mic went up again.
Gosh darn it. And I'm also doing I'm also getting one set up with Florida State that I'm gonna film on Tuesday. So that should be great as well. So yeah, just a bunch of bowl previews and live shows are going on over at Young Guns.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in and being here.
Thanks,
I'm sorry,
Joey.
Anthony. Go ahead. Anthony.
I just say, Will, let me know when that Guaranteed Rate Bowl one comes out.
Yeah, it's out, man.
Oh, it is? I missed it then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody that joined me here in the stream. Had a good time. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry